Before transformation occurs, there is always a period of deep stillness. This is not the absence of movement, but the presence of awareness. A woman who is about to receive a divine blessing often finds herself surrounded by silence, not externally, but internally. Her soul begins to quiet the noise, and in this stillness she begins to feel the space for something new. This stillness can feel unsettling. It is not inactivity, it is preparation. Like the archer who holds the bow still before releasing the arrow, she is being asked to hold herself in calm before the release of destiny. And just like the moment before the first drop of rain touches the earth, there is a weight in the air. That is the first sign, a sacred pause. When you are in this stage, do not mistake it for stagnation. It is the silence of sacred orchestration. The ground is being prepared under your feet. The doors are aligning ahead of you, but your task is to be still and not to chase. This is how you match the rhythm of the universe. And so, the first sign a woman sees before her blessing arrives is not noise but quiet, a strange inner peace, the calm before the rising wave. And she must not run from it. She must sit in it, breathe in it, and allow herself to feel deeply. Only those who can sit with silence will understand the sound of destiny. One of the clearest signs that something big is coming is the sudden release of what no longer serves. You begin to lose things. People walk away. Certain paths close. It feels like endings, but it is not destruction. It is divine decluttering. The universe never blesses a soul with full hands. This release is often painful. It feels like loss, but it is actually protection. A woman begins to feel a discomfort with the old way of thinking, the old way of being. She can no longer wear the mask. She can no longer settle. Something within her is being pulled toward truth. That pull is the prelude to blessing. This second sign, though uncomfortable, is deeply sacred. You may feel like everything is falling apart, but in truth it is falling into alignment. When a tree sheds its leaves, it is not dying. It is preparing for a deeper root and a stronger bloom. So too, the woman about to be blessed must trust the shedding. Trust that what leaves your life is making space for what is coming. You do not climb higher with a heavy load. Release is not rejection, it is redirection. And when a woman begins to feel the weight lifting, the space clearing, she must smile. The blessing is closer than it seems. Suddenly, things you tolerated feel unbearable. Conversations that once amused you now drain you. Places that once felt familiar now feel foreign. This is not hypersensitivity, it is divine refinement. A woman being prepared for something sacred must be tuned like an instrument. This third sign is about energetic awareness. You start to feel everything. Your body speaks louder. Your intuition sharpens. Your dreams become vivid. This is not a curse, it is a gift. The sensitivity is showing you that your frequency is rising. And with elevation comes discernment. When a woman is about to be blessed, she becomes aware of vibrations, of people, of thoughts, of spaces. She learns to walk away quietly without anger from anything that does not match her soul's readiness. This requires discipline and the courage to be alone, and in this solitude she finds her power. Her yes becomes sacred. Her no becomes clear. She is no longer easily swayed. Because her spirit knows something greater is being carved for her. She cannot waste her energy on anything that dims her light. Blessings do not fall on chaos. They land where there is alignment. And so a woman begins to turn inward. Meditation calls to her. Silence heals her. Old wounds surface not to torment her, but to be healed. This fourth sign is the soul's preparation chamber. You may feel an urge to journal, to walk in nature, to sit in stillness. You may revisit past pains, but with new eyes. Not to relive the hurt, but to retrieve the wisdom. This is sacred work. It is the work most avoid. But a woman who is about to be blessed knows she cannot carry unhealed pain into her next chapter. Healing is not beautiful. It is messy, but it is necessary. She allows herself to cry, to feel, to surrender. And in doing so, she sheds the weight that kept her small. She begins to breathe in deeper rhythms. She begins to feel whole, not because life is perfect, but because she has met herself. And that is the real blessing. Before anything external appears, to meet yourself, to know who you are, what you carry, and what you deserve. Only then can the external match the internal, and the blessing that is meant for you can find you whole. There comes a moment often misread when everything slows down. People stop calling, opportunities feel paused, a woman begins to feel alone, not abandoned, but removed. This is not punishment, this is preservation. This is the fifth sign. Isolation is the cocoon before transformation. Just as the caterpillar must be alone to become the butterfly, so must a woman be held in sacred stillness before her wings unfold. In the quiet, she is not meant to suffer, but to listen, to hear the whispers of her soul. This kind of solitude is not always chosen, but it is always necessary. It feels like the world has gone quiet around you, but within that silence something stirs, a realization, a vision, a remembering of who you really are without the noise of the crowd. The woman who is about to receive something big is often set apart, not to be forgotten, but to be focused. So if you find yourself in a season of aloneness, do not panic. Do not try to force connection. Instead, sit with yourself. Tend to your inner garden. This is where the blessing finds its root. There is a moment before elevation when everything familiar starts to feel wrong. Your job, your relationships, your habits. They once felt safe, now they feel suffocating. This is not because you are broken, it is because you are growing. The sixth sign is divine discontent. It starts quietly, a thought that says, "There's more than this," a restlessness in your chest, a longing you cannot explain. This is not a call to destroy, but to examine, to look at the life you've built and ask, does this reflect who I'm becoming? That discomfort is not a curse. It is the voice of your future calling you forward. It is the inner compass shaking you awake. The woman on the verge of a great blessing will often feel dissatisfied, not because she lacks gratitude, but because her soul knows the next level is near. And so, she stops settling. She stops shrinking. She stops pretending. Because now, the old world feels too small for her expanding spirit. This discomfort is not the end. It is the beginning. When a woman no longer fits in the shell of who she was, she is being prepared for the shape of who she will be. As you begin to align with your higher path, the universe responds. You see repeating numbers. You overhear messages that seem meant for you. A stranger says exactly what you needed to hear. This is not coincidence. This is coordination. The seventh sign is synchronicity. When the divine begins to move, it moves in patterns. Life starts to whisper to you. Gentle nudges, unexpected blessings, delayed flights that lead to chance encounters, emails at the right time. The woman who is tuned into her inner world begins to recognize these as affirmations. Do not dismiss the signs. Pay attention to the symbols in your dreams, the books that fall into your lap, the conversations that stir your soul. The universe is not random, it is responsive. And when you are being prepared for something big, life begins to send breadcrumbs. Follow them with trust. Not everything will make sense in the moment, but clarity follows faith. The woman who walks forward, even with trembling steps, finds that life meets her with grace. What seems small, like a feather on the ground or a word repeated 3 times, is often the beginning of something extraordinary. As blessings draw near, so does emotional clearing. You may find yourself crying more often, feeling deep waves of grief or unexpected joy. Do not resist these tides. They are not weakness, they are washing. Every emotion holds memory, the body remembers, and before it can receive new light, it must purge old shadows. A woman who is about to be elevated must feel what she has avoided. She must give space to the unheard voices inside her. You may wonder, why now? Why do these feelings come just as I'm growing? But healing is not linear. And blessings require preparation, not just mentally, but emotionally. The more you allow yourself to feel, the more space you create within. And in that space, the blessing settles. Like water poured into a clean vessel, your spirit becomes ready. So if your heart aches, let it. If joy bursts forth, dance with it. Do not judge your emotions, witness them. Let them move through you. They are signs that your spirit is cleansing itself for what is to come. There is no elevation without resistance, and so sometimes, just before the breakthrough, comes a wave of difficulty, a test, a mountain. It may feel like life is pushing against you, but it is forging you. This is the fire before the rise. The woman who is close to receiving something great often faces her final lessons, a person who triggers her old wounds, a situation that demands new strength, a moment that requires full surrender. These are not punishments, they are initiations. Challenge is the mirror that shows us what we've learned. It reveals whether we will repeat the old pattern or walk the higher path. And when you face it with grace, with clarity, with integrity, you do not lose energy, you gain power. So if you feel tested, rejoice. It means you are trusted. Life does not waste storms on those going nowhere. The woman who is called to great heights must first walk through the valley, so she may know her strength, her patience, and her unwavering trust in the journey. When a woman is about to be blessed, her inner vision begins to sharpen. Her dreams become more vivid, not just while sleeping, but also while awake. She starts to see what she wants with greater clarity. What once felt distant becomes near, defined, tangible. This is no illusion, it is alignment. This is the 10th sign, divine imagination. The heart begins to sketch the blueprint of what the soul is ready to receive. Ideas come like flashes of light. Visions arise during walks. Words arrive during meditation. These are not fantasies, they are spiritual downloads, glimpses of what is unfolding. When this happens, honor it, write them down, speak them aloud. Do not dismiss them as mere coincidence. The universe does not send ideas randomly. These are seeds of manifestation. The clearer your internal picture, the closer your external reality draws toward it. A woman on the brink of blessing starts to create from a place of deep inner knowing. She is no longer asking, "Is this possible?" She begins asking, "How can I serve what is asking to be born through me?" She is no longer waiting for the future. She is preparing for it. As your spirit rises, so do your standards. You begin to desire differently, not louder but purer, not more but deeper. This is the 11th sign, a shift in what you are drawn toward. You no longer crave the things that once distracted you. You begin seeking what nourishes your soul. This change is subtle but powerful. You choose peace over popularity, truth over approval, purpose over convenience. The woman preparing for blessing begins to refine her desires not because she is better, but because she is becoming more aligned. Old goals lose their flavor. Shallow connections feel empty. You begin to set boundaries not to offend others, but to protect your sacred becoming. This is not arrogance, it is responsibility. To yourself, to your future, to the blessing that is on its way. And in this elevated clarity, you start to draw new energies, new people, new opportunities. They do not come because you chase them. They come because your new frequency calls to them. You rise, and what belongs to you rises to meet you. The more a woman draws near her breakthrough, the more she begins to feel the presence of something greater. Call it God, call it Source, call it Spirit. There is a quiet companionship that begins to form. This is the 12th sign, spiritual intimacy. You begin to speak in silence and feel heard. You walk alone but feel accompanied. This is not religion, it is relationship. It is a thread of knowing that weaves through your day. You begin to feel guided even in moments of uncertainty. This connection is not loud, it does not demand. It whispers, it invites, it nourishes. And as you spend more time in presence, in stillness, in prayer, in breath, you begin to realize you are never alone. Every step has been held. Every fall was caught. The blessing does not just show up as a thing. Sometimes the blessing is this: to know God more closely, to feel guided, to feel loved in the unseen moments. And the woman who builds her connection to the divine walks forward with unshakable peace. This is a beautiful and mysterious sign, sudden waves of gratitude, even when nothing has yet changed. You find yourself saying thank you before the blessing arrives. You feel a smile in your chest, not because of what you have, but because of what you feel coming. This is the 13th sign, a sacred trust that bypasses logic. The soul starts celebrating what the eyes have not yet seen. This is spiritual maturity. You are no longer waiting for the external to shift before you shift internally. You lead with faith, not evidence. Gratitude opens the gates of receiving. It tells the universe, I am ready. I already feel the joy of what is on its way. And the universe responds. When a woman lives in thankfulness, not forced but flowing, she aligns with the frequency of abundance. Practice this. Wake up and give thanks for what has not yet arrived. Feel it as if it were already yours. This is not imagination. It is preparation. It is spiritual embodiment. You become the woman who already carries the blessing. And because of that, the blessing recognizes you. Before you even speak of it, others begin to feel it. You walk into a room and something about you feels different. You say little but carry weight. Your presence calms, your silence speaks. This is not performance, it is spiritual authority. This is the 14th sign. When a woman begins to walk in alignment with her coming blessing, the world feels it before she does. Children stare. Strangers greet you with warmth. People start opening up without knowing why. This is not magic, it is energy. Your frequency has changed. This shift does not come from effort, it comes from being. You have shed what was false. You have stepped into your essence, and the world responds to authenticity. This is not about being better than others. It is about being fully yourself. Your light is not loud. It does not seek attention, but it draws in what is meant to find you. And so, walk with humility, but also with awareness. You are glowing. not because of what you have done, but because of who you are becoming. And finally, the deepest and most unmistakable sign, a peace that does not match your circumstance. You should feel anxious, but you don't. You should feel uncertain, but you feel calm. This is not denial, it is alignment. This is the final sign before the blessing arrives. Peace is not found in the absence of chaos, but in the presence of inner alignment. You begin to feel that no matter what happens, you are safe, you are guided, you are enough. The woman who reaches this place is already walking in blessing. It is a peace that softens the edges of life, that allows you to wait without worry, that lets you love without fear, that holds you steady when others shake. This peace is not taught, it is remembered. It is your soul's original state. And so, if you are in this place now, trust it. The blessing is not only coming, it is already near. And the peace you feel is the first wave of it. Hold it close, protect it. Let it carry you forward, not with striving, but with surrender. You are already in the flow. To the woman watching this, if you have seen these signs, know that you are being prepared. Life is not punishing you, it is preparing you, not delaying you. It is designing you for something big, for something sacred, for something only you were born to carry.